Alright, welcome to my campfire. I thought tonight I'd tell some campfire stories of dumb things I did when I was young that probably should have or could have killed me and my friends, and it would definitely hurt me today. So, story number one. A 21-year-old sitting with a couple friends on a Friday night. We're in school in San Jose, drinking a few of these, so we're not thinking very clearly. Somebody comes up with a great idea. Let's go backpacking. It's October, it's a 3-day weekend. So we gather up some stuff, jump in the car, and I remember clearly the windshield wipers didn't work and it was sprinkling all the way there, and we had to reach out the window with the windshield wipers. That should have been a tip-off to how the trip was going to go. But we get there, we decide to go to the Hoover Wilderness, which is on up above Bridgeport, along the east side of the Sierra off 395. Beautiful area, but late October, mid-October, I'm not sure what it was, but it was a cold spell. We didn't check the weather, we just went for it. So we sleep at the trailhead in the car, which 21-year-olds have no problem doing. Get up early, it's a beautiful day, we hike in, and I think the trailhead is probably 8,000 or 9,000 feet. And Summit Lake was our destination. It's only in about 5 miles, but in October, with the storm coming in at 10,000 feet, you got to be prepared. But this is 1980. We had cotton everything, and I'll show you my sleeping bag, my sleep setup here. Alright, so this is the old K-Mart top-of-the-line sleeping bag. Temperature rating, living room, probably about 60 degrees. But look at, this was new technology back then. The mummy style, and this newfangled material called nylon. And there's at least an inch of loft and 100% cotton. This is quality stuff. But this is what every backpacker used back in the day. We call these insulate pads. See how thick that is? It's got to be 1/4 inch. You put that under your bag. It actually did put off a little bit of heat. But that was my sleeping system back in the day. And check out this technology. You had a drawstring. But look at this. This is one thing that they did that has changed. The zipper works. It doesn't get caught. For some reason, the $300 sleeping bags we have now, you can't do that. So not only did I have that sleeping bag, if it got really bad, I had my little tarp from like Home Depot that I could throw over the top of me. So we find a spot to camp. My buddies have a tent, a 2-man tent, so they crawl in there. I put on all my clothes. It's really cold. I don't even know how cold it is. I put on every stitch of clothing, like 8 layers of cotton and a jacket. Crawl inside my sleeping bag and curl up to the bottom of it. And I was shivering all night long. And I think the only thing that saved me was the fact that it snowed 6 inches and the snow covered me completely. And it probably acted as an insulator. So, obviously, as soon as the sun hit, I jumped up out of bed. And I was fine. It was pretty cold. But then I went fishing, and it was so cold that every time I was catching brookies right and left. That's a good fishing lake. But every time I would reel in, the ice would form on all the eyelets of my pole because it was that cold, so I'd have to clear them and catch a fish. So we hiked out, and on the way out, we stopped by the Bridgeport Ranger Station just because we knew it was really cold, and said, "How cold was it last night anyway?" And they said, "Well, here at the station, it was 0 degrees." So up at 10,000 feet where we were, it had to be at least 5 below. So that was my coldest Sierra night, and I'm still here. So, yeah, that was really dumb, but it was great. We had a fun time. Didn't think anything of it, but I would never do that now. So, story number 2. 16 years old, and we have our licenses. So this is going to be 1977. And our parents used to trust us back then. My buddy's dad let him have the car, and so we're going to head to Yosemite spring break. Snow on the ground. Us brainiacs, we bought little hammocks because there was snow on the ground. We're thinking we're going to sleep up in a hammock. And you see my sleeping bag. And it will stay off the snow and it will be warmer. Obviously, that's worse because you have cold air all around you. But we almost didn't make it because the first corner coming in the Hetch Hetchy entrance, heading into the Yosemite Valley, we went straight into a snowbank. Took us an hour to dig the car out. Then on the way to camp, this is back in the days where you could just drive up and camp in Yosemite without reservations. We stopped before we got into camp to get some firewood. We come back out to the car after we go into the woods for 10 minutes. All our sleeping bags and backpacks are stolen. We're gonna go backpacking for a week. Everything's gone. So there went our backpacking plans. We went by the ranger station and just to report it, and they loaned us gear, sleeping bags. So we still camped for a week. So first morning we decide we're going to go up the Half Dome Trail, and this is, I don't know, March, spring break, and we get up to the Vernal Falls Bridge. There's snow everywhere. And then we get to the Mist Trail where the John Muir Trail veers off, and there's a gate there that says trail closed due to avalanche danger. We're 16 years old. We're going, oh, that's for old people. We jump the gate, head up the Mist Trail, full of ice, snowshoots, avalanche remnants, and we make it up the top. So, idiots. People die on that trail all the time, even in summer. You slide out one of those off a snow ledge, you're dead. But we did it. We made it. God, we were dumb. So the next day, we decide, let's go hike up to the top of Yosemite Falls. So it's 3,600 feet, I think, in the valley, and I don't know what Yosemite Falls is, maybe 8,000. And a storm's coming in. So a storm rolls in, it's raining. Again, we have all cotton. Dangerous as hell. We get soaked on the trail. Lower down the elevations, we're fine. Then we get up towards the top, and the wind comes up once we topped off at the top of the falls. And one of our little buddies, it was me and another 16-year-old, and we brought two little brothers that were 12. One of them starts shivering uncontrollably, and we're going, what is wrong with you? Then he starts crying. We're berating him. And then he's freaking out, so we finally figured out, oh, maybe he's cold, and we do kind of huddle, but we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know about hypothermia. I'm sure he had severe hypothermia. So we did the smart thing, at least, and kept hiking and got him down to a lower elevation. And he survived. We got home, and parents never knew any of this stuff, so it was a great trip. We spent a couple more days camping in the valley and survived that trip. So back to college days, where this impaired our judgment a lot. It's another springtime trip, probably about May, and me and three college buddies decide we're going to go up to Sunrise Lakes. Easy to get a permit because there's 5 feet of snow everywhere, and the wade across from the trailhead across the Tenaya, by the upper end of Tenaya Lake, is a hike like this through about 30 yards of ice cold water, chest high. So we're going up there. One of my buddies falls through the snow up to his neck. He can't move. We could have left him there, but he could not get out. So, it's dangerous traversing across snow. I don't know if we even had maps. So we camped. We actually found a spot without snow. I caught a huge trout. Life was good. We were crossing streams, doing a lot of dumb things. Then one of our hiking buddies was crazy, and he goes, hey, look, let's go climb that mountain over there. So we cross-country it over to this mountain. And we get almost to the top, and it starts getting hairy. And about the last 10 feet was sketchy as you know what. But we boosted each other up, and we got up to the top. We had to take turns because it's a really small summit. And we all made it. And that peak was Cathedral Peak with ice on it. I would not even go near that these days, but we made it. And then the hike down was a long glissade down the face of the mountain that ended in a boulder field. That we all flew into the boulders Thought it was the greatest thing ever. Nobody broke anything. We were bleeding everywhere. Great trip. Again, we survived. So that one was great. I mean, they're great memories, but the things we could do when we were young and stupid. So the last one, this one's kind of a creepy story. It's one of our first backpacking trips. We're 15 years old, so can't drive. And again, I told you our parents trusted us. My mom drove us to the trailhead. It was in the Coast Range, a place called Castle Rock State Park up by Big Basin in California. And so we got Mom to drive us up Friday night and drop us off. And I clearly remember bringing a bag of briquettes and hamburgers. That was our dinner the first night. And we could carry a lot back then when we were younger. So it was just a hike-in backcountry camp. It wasn't wilderness or anything, but there wasn't a lot of people around. But the first night, this creeper came out of the woods and started sharing the fire with us and putting his arms around us and worse. So we finally got him to go in his tent and leave us alone. And then when he went to bed, we packed up and moved to another spot. And it was a couple miles away, too, in the dark. And the next day, we were fine for a while. And then he came strolling in and found us. So we skedaddled out of there and got out of there. Had Mom pick us up. No cell phones back then. No maps, no internet. You had to figure stuff out yourself. So we figured out that in more urban areas, you got to watch out for the creepers. But we survived. I don't think I ever told my mom that story because we didn't want to ever have the parents say, you know, you can't go. So we just said everything was great so we could go on the next trip. So those are some weird campfire stories. Let me hear some of yours. And thanks for watching. And happy trails and Happy New Year. Cheers.